All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for being here today. Before we get started, I want to take a quick moment to talk about Penny Insurance. At Penny, we found that most agents don't lose life insurance opportunities because there's no demand. They lose them because the process takes time, involves paperwork, and requires constant follow-up. And that's exactly why the Penny A Team exists. The A Team is our in-house group of licensed life insurance specialists who handle everything behind the scenes once you introduce the client, from the first conversation all the way through underwriting and policy issue. Our team manages the entire process from start to finish. So what does that mean? That means we run the client conversation, we complete applications and paperwork, we manage underwriting and carrier follow-ups, and we track every case and keep it moving. Agents stay focused on what they do best: selling, advising, and growing their book, not chasing forms or status updates. So this isn't outsourcing. It's an extension of your practice, supported by purpose-built tools and systems that keep cases organized, compliant, and moving fast. And the result is simple: more policies issued, more time back in your day, and a smoother experience for your clients. And now I'll pass the mic over to Keelan. Welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate everybody jumping on here today. So I'm excited, and I'll just give you a little background on myself. I've been in the insurance business for 25 years. I'm a native Texan, so go hook 'em horns. But I live here in Texas also, so I have a vast extent in the insurance business, all the way from property and casualty to 401ks and all the way back around. And I am blessed to be here with the team and Penny and End Zone to bring ideas, to be a part of it, to learn and to grow. I've been here since September as a sales manager coming in, and we are on a large track of growth. So appreciate y'all jumping in here today. So I am going to attempt to start this and share my screen here, and hopefully we'll cross our fingers everything looks great and fine, and we can make this happen. So let's see what we can do here. So I am going to start this process here, and here we go. Let's see what we've got here. I'm going to switch this. Chris, can you tell me if you can see what I have on my screen?
Yep, you are good to go.
Perfect. So everybody, welcome. And you know, when I was putting this together, and we are on the second of a 12, 13, 14 part weekly series where we're going to hit the tip of the iceberg. One of our brokerage managers, Dave Jones, did a super job last week of explaining IULs. And so we're going to rewind a little bit this week and I'll say it, this is kind of the way I teach and the way I talk is we're going to back up into third grade or fourth grade to a degree from insurance sales. Some of this may be redundant to a lot of you. Some of it may be a little bit boring to some of you, but I always believe that in the insurance sales, it all starts with the first meeting with your client or the second or third. And that's what I really want to get down to today. I hope today, my goal for you today, as we move through this, is if you'll pick up 3 aha moments, 3 things that you're like, I need to do that, or 3 things about, oh man, I lost a client before because of that, or I really want to sharpen on that, because I think our brains have so much capacity. So there's going to be a lot of colors. My mother is a teacher. She is 81, and she's been still teaching school for 57 years. So I use my hands a lot, and I'm a very visual guy, so you'll see that. So some of the stuff you may see as you're doing already, which is wonderful. This can relate to property and casualty, to commercial sales, to all the way up to ILETs, and we do all of that. Once again, you know, our team does the 4 or 5 pillars: the life insurance, annuities, long-term care and disability, and the advanced market space. So we are glad to bring that to you. We have a super strong team, and I'd go on for 7 days on that. So we'll move forward with that. The topic today is Life Insurance 101, basically how protection fits and how the beginning of the conversation start with your clients and the client decisions. You know, most agents don't really struggle with having the opportunity. They struggle with clarity and how to make it clear to the client and also not only make it clear, make it to where it is clear from the client to them what they're looking for. So you're going to see a lot of tidbits here on little one-offs and things to take away. So I hope you take 2 or 3 or 4 away. If you like one, put it over in the chat. If you have a question about it, put it in the chat. If you want us to call you back, put it in the chat. We can also do one-on-ones with any of you and go through some of this stuff if you're needing some of the the sales 101 ideas. So without that, we'll move forward. We do these on Thursdays, and we're going to do them every consistently Thursday at 2 o'clock. You'll see a list come out, and I suggest and advise you to jump on one if you like it. We're going to be doing annuities, long-term care, disability, deep dives into IULs and things of that. But we're going to start here. So anybody know maybe what this is? And so if you don't, you're welcome to put it in the chat. But this is a game of ping pong. So just like ping pong in the insurance and in life insurance and in any insurance conversation, when you start off with a client, it is like a game of ping pong. So I want you to think of that thought process in the game of ping pong. When you're hit the ball from your opponent, do you pick it up or do you hit it back? Of course, we know we hit it back. So the goal is to volley it back to the other person, and they volley it back to you, and it's like a game of ping pong. This is real simple, basic, just conversations with a client, with anybody really in the world and in life is ping pong. Your goal is to hit the ball back, whether that be a statement, whether that be a response, whether that be a fact, or whether it be a question. It is always to engage with the client, which we'll see in a minute, as we well know, leads to trust, leads to protection, leads to policies, leads to retention. And so that is our goal. So I want you to just think of that in your mind as you move forward in your sales career with anything as playing ping pong. If you find yourself answering some question and not returning a question to the client, that conversation can get stagnant. And then there we are, and we run a chance of losing a deal. So think of ping pong. All right, so life insurance 101. So basically the session, what we're going to talk about here is about conversations and to replace confusion. So lots of times our clients come in with confusion about what is the policy, what is the contract, what is the floor rate, what's the ceiling rate, what's the interest rate, what's the cap rate, and we tend to get wrapped up in the things that we're used to talking about on a daily basis. But then when we get to the talking with the client, we need to think about they don't know as much as we know, and we have to simplify it back down. Okay. So the core principles here, and I like colors, so you're going to see colors. So if you just for fun, if you squint your eyes, just squint them a little bit, you're going to see some yellow words and some red words. Okay. So lots of times the red words are just like a stop sign, things we don't want to really say or do. Lots of time, and then the green and the yellow are going to be the green things. So as you're looking at these simple things, I like simple processes. Think about when you're looking at the colors, red, yellow, or green and red, because they're going to be throughout these slides. All right, so let's talk about the first one. Protection comes before product. Okay, so when we think about the product, sometimes we want to spew at the mouth and go, well, you need this IUL, or you need a GUL, or you need a whole life, or a term, or an ILIT, or a SPIA, or a FIA, and they have no idea what we're talking about, because those are acronyms that we use consistently in our talk, but that is not something that they know. So we're talking about that. We want to focus on the protection in our first meeting or two versus just the product. We want to talk about conversation before coverage. We never want to go into a meeting on this and go, how much coverage do you need? How much do you need? How much are you wanting? How much are you needing? We have to have a conversation with them first so that they will tell us and they lead us as to what they're looking for. So remember, as you're starting off, don't start talking about the product you have and the coverage you have. Talk about how, the protection that they're looking for and how in those conversations. Top agents in our industry lead with context and responsibility, not policy details. Okay, so the context of the conversation, their responsibility as an insurance advisor, and how that relates to being responsible and protecting the client. So we've got protection, conversation, and responsibility in this slide. Best practices 1, start with the why protection exists. Okay. So why does protection exist? Top agents do not lead with policies. One more time, they don't start talking about the companies they have and the carriers they have and the protection. That is it's going to throw a client into a spin. They do not lead with the policies. They lead with the financial problems that appear. And here's a big word. I've done lots of trainings in my career, and this is one of my key, probably top things in the insurance business, especially in life insurance business. If you're dealing with a PNC or a commercial client, I know I've sold PNC before, and you always say, well, if the hailstorm comes around, or if there's a claim, or if there's a liability, or if there's tornado, then you can file a claim. That's an if it happens. In life insurance, it's when it happens. WHEN, not WIN. It's when it happens. There's a 100% chance all of us are going to pass away one day. So it is a win. So I would challenge you, one challenge today to take away. If you ever find yourself in the life insurance world coming across the word, well, if you have a claim or if you die, no, it's not if you die, it's when you die. And that has to relay a little bit strong to your potential client, because they are going to pass away one day, whether they have the insurance or not. So that claim is going to happen whether there's a policy or not. It's just a matter of when. So try to replace your ifs with when. And life insurance solves these problems. Life insurance is not something you buy. It is something that solves a financial problem. Okay, so a lot of you'll see all my colleagues, they get tired of me hearing it, but they see me say, hey, we don't sell stuff, we protect. So that is my key word. We protect families, we protect people. We don't sell policies, we protect people with policies. So think about that word too when you come into as you're talking to people. You're solving problems and you're protecting lives. Okay. And what is your why? What is your why you want to protect people? That's important too, because you are licensed, you are in the industry. I think you are driven to protect families, and they trust you, and they trust your advice there. Right here, practice number 2, use plain language. Okay, we all have to slow our language down. I know I get excited. I'll probably speed up during this thing a time or two. I've been told to slow down, and I get it. I just get excited. But in life insurance sales, jargon does not make you sound more professional. A lot of times when you go into a meeting, you're like, "Ah, boy, I'm going to show my stuff here. I'm going to show them what term is, and what a replacement is, and what a this and that, and this company's got this, and they've got a LTC rider," and that just throws your client into a spin. You got to think about, again, your client's going to start, if you're on 4th grade level with insurance or whatever, they're in kindergarten. So we've got to get them up to speed as to what we're trying to do here. It makes the client feel really behind and lost, confused, or hesitant. When clients feel confused, they slow down or they disengage. Okay. So let me give you a couple of examples, just terminology maybe to put into your index here. Instead of saying face amount, well, the face amount is this. They don't know whether you're talking about a picture at Glamour Shot, something you've taken, put on Facebook. Face amount doesn't mean anything to a lot of them. That's the coverage amount. Okay, so try to think about replacing face amount with coverage amount. Okay, those are two words that make a lot of difference. Premium mode. If you're throwing out there, you're used to talking to your cohorts, your advisors, and using premium mode. Well, what's the premium mode? In client world, and when you're talking to clients, that's the monthly cost. Okay. So when you're talking about that, try to not say premium mode, because they could be like, well, I don't want to ask a dumb question. What is premium mode? Is that the modal? Is that the premium gasoline? What are we talking about? That's the monthly cost. Okay. And then another one, accumulation strategy. A lot of advisors, well, the accumulation strategy here, we're going to accumulate money here and we're going to grow it in NASDAQ and Dow and the floors and ceiling. There, you've already lost them a long time ago, and they're going to disengage easy. The wording is how the money grows. Miss Jones, this is how the money grows in your account, and this is how it is put in there, and this is how your money grows. Okay. Over in the green, remember green words, here we are. When clients clearly understand what you're explaining, trust forms naturally, and the conversation keeps moving forward. So again, trust equals forward progress. And we always have to, in our sales cycle, and especially, trying to explain something like life insurance, we have to keep the ball moving forward to keep them engaged. So think about a takeaway on this slide too, on best practices too. Best practices 3, listen. I can't say that enough. Before recommending. Here's a couple of open-ended questions to your client. Who relies on your income today? And remember, play ping pong. Just say that. Say, who relies on your income today? Well, my family relies on it, or I rely on my wife's, or I rely on my husband's. Somebody is relying on some income in this family, and we have to ask that question and let them answer it. We don't need to pose it like, oh, I guess your husband's the one, or I guess you're the one that makes. No, ask a question and sit and listen, let the crickets go, and let them answer. Number 2, what will your family still be responsible for? Remember, not if. What will your family still be responsible for when something happens to you? What will your family still be responsible for? That's another great question to put in your bank of questions when you're sitting across from people. These are also questions you can ask when you're out after work and, on the weekends, whatever you're doing, family reunions or church or the coffee shop or the bar, whatever you're doing. These are some questions that you can just to start the conversation. What's going to happen when? What's going to happen when? Okay. Number 3, what keeps your family up at night financially, or what keeps you up at night financially? Okay. What is the worry, going forward as you get older? What keeps you up? So these questions, they really, really basically create some clarity. And this is a big word too. I should have highlighted it. Emotional connection. These are emotional questions that, a lot of people like, nobody's really asked me that before, nobody's really asked me, what keeps me up at night and what am I responsible for? Those are great questions because, they really hit home. On the bottom here, match the coverage to real needs. Okay, what are real needs? Your income is a real need. Your debt is a real need. Your family is a real need. And your business obligations are a real need. For those of y'all that are in the commercial world and talking to commercial clients, business obligations, we also have, some great resources on buy, sell, key mans, exit strategies that we have put into play. And we're super excited about that too. So anytime you get into a business, type of situation, or someone owns a business or has a business, or you have your own business, think about that too. Strong life insurance recommendations are not based on age or product preference. Let's not even go with the age or product preference yet. We're still talking about just emotionally connected and gaining trust. Okay. These are based on what financially breaks when the client is gone. Coverage should always tie back to the real obligations. You see my arrow there, not abstract numbers. So if you just start throwing out there, oh, well, you need 300 or 400, 500,000, they're like, well, how do you know that? You don't even know that. You don't even know what my needs and my goals are yet because we haven't even gotten there. So think about a few things. Squint your eyes real quick. What do you see in green? Some good questions there. And what do you see not to do on these best practices? And again, if you would like, after we get through with this, I can send you this slide presentation, and you're welcome to steal anything you want. All right, practice 4. Look at the pictures here. Control the pace. Okay, control the pace with your client as you're talking through them on these policies. And again, this can relate to any policy in any sales situation, but we're talking about life insurance here primarily with us. When the pace is too fast, the client feels behind, and you can tell by their body language. Confusion increases, okay, because that's when you need to rewind and say, does everything make sense? Objections will start to surface. Well, I got to ask my husband about this. Oh, well, I need to ask my kids about that. Oh, well, I need to sleep on this. Oh, well, I don't know if this is the best policy. That's going to start surfacing. And when you hear objections start to surface, probably you missed a couple of steps in the beginning on just building trust and building, validity with them and making them feel special. And then your decision gets delayed. Well, I'll talk to you next week, or catch up with me in 3 weeks, or put me on your list or something of that. And then you've lost them together, and they're going to go online and get a term policy for 10 years through an online carrier. And they say, well, heck with it. When the pace is controlled, the understanding improves, they understand it more, their confidence builds, and the momentum stays intact. Okay, momentum stays intact. So another little slide here that you can squint your eyes on as we recreate and work on our sales processes. Control the pace, and you can control the sale and the service and the understanding. This has got a little bit of color and a lot of reading here too, so I'll try to summarize this. Try to handle your objections early in the process. Try to get those out on the table, that so you don't run across them later on. You have buyer's remorse, they cancel or whatever later on. Try to handle the objections early. And number one, a way to do this is remove the pressure. Just remove the pressure like you're pulling the top off of Coca-Cola or whatever. Remove the pressure. Here's a little thought. Let's just walk through what this would solve. Then you can tell me what you think. What a great thing, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Let's just walk through what this would solve here, and then you tell me what you think. We can take this one step at a time. We can just take it one step at a time. Make sure we relieve that pressure. You know, if you really get a Coke shook, it's really shooken up. That's probably not a word. It's a Texas word. Sorry, but shook up. And then you have to release it really slowly, one step at a time, or it'll spew and all come out. Set expectations. Here, everyone. Today is just about understanding your situation. No decisions today. Even though we all want a one-step close, we know we do that. We want to seal that deal and go home and high-five everybody, and we got one on the board. And most of the time that will happen. But if you relieve the expectation, set the expectation, we're just trying to understand your situation, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, and you have to make no decisions today. The second one, the next step is simply seeing what you qualify for. This is a big one that I've learned in the sales industry and the insurance industry. I'm just trying to learn you to see what you qualify for. Okay, if you go into a meeting, go, I think we can get you super preferred, or we can get you the best thing out there, and then they come back standard, and some health, impairment comes up that most people have, and you got to drop into a standard or a table A or B or D. They've already were thinking that you're going to get super preferred, and you're wishing the best. We just want to see what you can qualify. I have no idea what you can qualify for, so we have to ask the questions to figure that out, and then we'll decide after that. And then the other one, nothing moves forward unless it makes sense to you. So I don't want to move forward, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, until this makes sense for you. Okay. I want to make sure it makes sense, and then we'll take the next step. Are we good to go? And then start shaking your head yes, up and down. Shake your head yes, up and down. And they will start shaking just like you're being mimicked. Okay. On 3, reassure clients that the next step is simply qualification. Okay, hey, I want to qualify you. Okay, let's see what you can qualify for. I will get you the best thing that you qualify for, because we at Penny, we have multiple carriers, we have multiple options, we have a great underwriting team, we have a great illustration team, and we can tailor this thing to you. I just need to know what you qualify for first, so that we can tweak and turn that dial and get you exactly what you want, because that's my job here. I'm the advisor, and I want to protect you, so I want to see what we qualify for. Here's a couple of some terminology. This step is just to see what you qualify for. We can decide after that. Second one, think of this as fact finding, not a commitment. We're just fact finding. We're not committing to anything. I just need to know what you qualify for. Fourth one, if this doesn't make sense, once we see the numbers, we can stop and reevaluate. So don't worry about that. We can stop at any point in time, rework it, relook at it, because again, at the very end of the day, I want it to be about you and about protection of your family. That's what we're looking for. And the fourth one, this keeps your options open and doesn't lock you in. Okay, it doesn't lock you in right now. We're just trying to figure out what you're looking for, what your needs are, so that you can feel comfortable and we can feel comfortable as a company, and we're all protected and in good shape. Okay, so squint your eyes again, see some greens, see some reds, maybe a takeaway or two, put them in the chat box, or any questions you have in the chat box, because your friends and cohorts might like that too. Number 10, best practices. Okay. Number 6, simplify the close. Okay. So when we're talking about the close, we're talking about we're doing fact finding, and we've got everything together. And again, that's another webinar that's a lot longer when we talk about product and details and things. But Simplify the close. Momentum beats perfection. Remember, you are the advisor, and you're going to advise something, okay? And here's the thing, y'all. When we get to the point where we got 4 carriers and we're looking at an IUL, we know they want to spend $200 a month. We know they want accumulation. We know they're happy with the rating they got. They're happy with the deal. You're not going to mess up. Those 4 carriers, I promise. We've done our due diligence over here at Penny. We're going to have the top 4 carriers in the world that are here for you, okay? And we're going to be the ones to do that. And it's not going to steer you wrong. You're going to do just fine for that client, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 carriers. That's going to be perfectly fine for the client. Progress moves forward, deals forward. 3, red. Top agents do not wait for the perfect illustration. They don't wait for the perfect carrier, or they don't wait for the perfect answer to every question. Okay. It's just not possible. And the longer there is a point of due diligence that we have to make sure we know the client is good, their coverages are good, the carrier is good, the product's good, the underwriting is good, the rate class is good. And you can do that a lot of times in your sleep. And if you can't, we can do it for you. Remember, we always have, our program for everybody, whether you're an in-zone agent or an independent. If you don't feel comfortable, you can pass the torch over to our internal sales team and our company. We will write it. I promise you, we have professional and great people internally. I've met them all, and they're great, and they've got a lot of tenure. We can write it for you, take care of the client for you, and you still get paid on the deal. So what a wonderful world that is right there. So don't forget that. Number 4. They move the conversation before momentum dies. We talked about that. Perfection does slow decisions. So once again, when you get to that point and the client is shaking their head, I like that, and you like that, there's no need in going back to the drawing board to a degree and go, well, let me see if I can chase 2 more carriers down. And it's good. When you get to a point where you're green light, they're green light, you're good. It's time to protect the client. Okay, and then momentum creates action. On the bottom, strong agents, I should have done that green, clearly explain what the immediate next step is. Number 1, why that step exists, what it does not mean, and what control the client retains. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we're going to put this policy into play. We're going to send it over to Penny or to the carrier. It's going to go in there. They're probably going to be asking you to be close to the phone. In your case, you might have to do a paramed or blood or urine or whatever it may be. Set the stage up there so when they get that phone call, they know that you told them this is the next step, and they're not surprised, and it doesn't kill the sale, and they go, I didn't know I was going to have to go have somebody at my house and stick a needle in my arm or go do this or go do that, And as you work within Penny and the insurance or with our team, we'll clarify that too, because we've got a great applications team. We've got a great case management team that will help you and the client along with the carrier to decide. Assume the sale. I know everybody that's in the insurance business has heard assume the sale. Keep assuming the sale, keep playing ping pong, keep shaking your head yes, up and down until you see confusion, until you see disarrayment, until you see objections come up. Assume the sale, okay? Don't go back and go, is this good? Is this good? Are we good? Are we clear? Do you like it? Do you don't? It just gives them more thought process of, is this really good? Okay, so at this point in time in the close, you have done the research or should have done the research, and you've got the client where they need to be and where they want to be. Okay, so we're going to kind of start to wrap up here and land the plane around some ideas. I'm sure every one of y'all have maybe an idea or 2 in your mind, and I like to take small bites at the apple because we are all busy during the day, and that's what this is about. Let's just go through a few things here, just kind of summarize and come back around. I know there's a lot of one-liners here. So I'm kind of a one-liner guy, so pick one and run. But let's look at green and red. Life insurance sells best when it is, as we've well learned already, clear, simple, and repeatable. I would challenge you to be able to, in the insurance world, whatever product, whatever process it is, rinse and repeat. The old adage, get in the mirror and talk to yourself, it works. but make it repeatable. Make your story repeatable. Maybe, sharpen it up, take some few things out, put it back in, AI it, whatever we do, chat GPT it, make it repeatable. Top producers do not rely on their charisma and complex explanations. They don't say, well, I've been in the business. You don't tell your client 35 years. I know what the heck I'm doing. And man, I can get you an IU, FU, VU. They do not rely on that. Top producers don't. You have to get on your client's level, whether that be someone that is looking for a $10,000 final expense policy, nothing wrong with that, or a $10 million buy sell. You have to be that mimic or two to get on their level and make it right on their educational level or their understanding level. They do rely on clarity, simplicity, and a process, okay, that they can repeat every time. Clarity, simplicity, and a process you can repeat every time that you can do in your sleep without and plug in and play and their information in there is very important there. When the process is repeatable, the results become predictable. Okay, I'll repeat that again. When the process is repeatable, your results become predictable. Okay, that's something to work with when it's repeatable and predictable. Be a guide, not a closer. Think of those words. Be a guide and serve, not a closer. And that will change your approach. It will also let some walls down and you'll become more comfortable with it. And it won't be such a commission-y sales speech. You're more of a guide and people can see that. They can read you too. Trust sells more than pressure. Trust, but if you don't build the trust up front, all you have is pressure. And, don't be that pressure pushy salesperson. And most of the time when people are, it's because they didn't build the trust up front. They didn't take the time to let and play ping pong with their client, let them talk about what they're looking for, and then advise what you think they need. Top agents do not win business by pushing for yes. They win by guiding clients through decisions they already need to make. That goes back all the way to the first slide. Let's talk about what you're looking for. Let's talk about what's going to happen when one of you pass away. We want them to answer their own questions. We just want to guide them through the process. So at the very end, they're the ones saying, hurry up and write this up. I don't want to even drive down the road and go home before I have this thing bound. I'm that nervous now. You made me nervous. I need this. We need this because this is going to happen. That's what you're looking for in the end. When clients feel guided, they relax, their tension goes down, their shoulders go down. When they feel closed, they resist. And then you have buyer's remorse. You don't hear from them again. They go silent. They ghost you. And you're like, what did I do wrong? Well, you need to look at your process up front and make sure you ask them the right questions so that they can tell you what they're looking for. And then you can be that advisor up front to advise them on what they need, on what they think they need, and what you think they need to. Okay, so they resist. And then here, that is a lot of the takeaways here. But let me just tell you a little bit too about Penny if you don't know who we are and what we do. We have a super A team, which stands for applications team. And we have the tools. We have all the benefits, our app fulfillment and delivery teams. They're fantastic. They've had so much tenure. I can't say enough about them, as well as our underwriter. So an underwriter, if you have a case, somebody comes to you and says, hey, I've got this client that has 5 legs and 2 eyeballs and 13 fingers and whatever it may be, some of the one-off cases, or you ever had a client that goes, well, I can't get covered because I had blah, blah, blah happen in 1934 and I just know I can't. Well, let me give it a shot. Well, we've got a lot of carriers and they change a lot. Let us give you a shot. I think we might can. Don't let the client tell you what you can or what they can't do. Okay. You can listen to it, acknowledge it, and then respond. But again, we have internal, our underwriter, Mike Woods is just phenomenal. He's been in the year. He's amazing what he can tell you too. We have a universal application form, very simple, very easy. The same application, no matter which carrier you're using. So if you're out there worried about, I don't know how to use Pru's, or I don't use MUAs, or you don't have to. We have a uniform application process that you get used to using, and then it shoots out to the carrier, and it works like a charm. We collect all the information that's needed and submit the full application to the carrier. We do that for you. Okay. So you have your own back office. It's like you're the agent and you have 30 people working for you, but you don't have to pay them, So we are the back office for you. You are the forward facing person with the clients, with your clients, and for all the in zone agents out there, we want to make sure that we respect your clients and that our communication for y'all with y'all and through this is sharp. So keep us on our toes too. Okay. So that's the relationship as brother and sister with Penny and in zone that we want to have. And our back office, again, we can handle the applications, run the illustrations, answer questions. And we want to take the focus to where you can go focus on the next client and we'll do the back office for you. That's what we do. It would be like us asking y'all, hey, me trying to learn commercial insurance again. It's been a long time. Y'all are way advanced than I am in all those areas. So let us focus on those things too as we move forward and as we grow this relationship together for at Penny. So in summary, I like to keep it short. Again, I know sometimes we go 45 minutes or whatever in an hour, but I think that's long. I just want to show you a few things and kind of a taste on the tongue a little bit about what we do and how we do it. Okay. So here at Penny, we want to be your support structure. We want to be your life, annuity, long-term care, disability, and advanced market space people. And I'm blessed to be able to be the sales manager over here at Penny to help anybody and everybody with any of the sales processes, the procedures, the applications that you may need. Because at the end of the day, with the way the world is going and the people that we have, there's still a value in the advisor relationship and in the agent relationship. There's still people all the time, hey, I need to know where to go. I'm so confused by these ads, so confused by these programs, these online stuff. I just want somebody to sit down and I want to tell you what I need, and I need you to find the solution. And that's what we want to do. We want to be servant based and find solutions for your people, for your clients as you go get new ones, and as you form trust with us, keep us accountable, and then that relationship's there to where it expands your conversations in the office, outside of the office, your family policies, your aunts, your uncles, your friends, your everybody that you can say, hey, I need to go to Bill Jones. He's got a heck of a team over there, and I know I've written 3 policies with him. So as we move forward and as we progress through these webinars, bites to apple, I would challenge you to jump on one, because knowledge is growth, and knowledge is education, knowledge is talking, and you're the licensed agent. You went and took that test, you've done all the research, you've done the work. They are counting on you. People are counting on you, and I would guarantee you people are going to come to you and go, hey, aren't you that agent that can take care of me? And the last thing that I would like to see for y'all is say, well, no, we send that down the road. No, we send that over here. You're taking some of that business that you could be protecting, that you could be, responsible for. And here's the second thing, and the last thing I'll say. I always preach this to my people when I was running a large final expense division, and may not be right to say this, but I would always say, if you as the agent, especially in the life insurance world, I never want to go to my dad passed away in December, and so he's 81. But I never want to go to a funeral again, and that for somebody, and I never want to be asked again as I'm at that funeral, hey, did my dad have coverage? Did my mom have coverage? Did they have any life insurance? Because what did they have with you? And I don't want to be that person to go, well, I never talked to them, or well, I never knew anything about that, or well, we were going to. So just think about that as we all get older and go through life, is that, are we asking people these questions? Are we giving them an opportunity to play ping pong with us? Are we asking them to a ping pong game about the things that mean the most in their life? And that's their family and their finances and with life insurance. So with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to turn it back over to Chris to see if there are any answers or questions, in here. If we don't get to them, and if you want to ask something later on, I know if you're in the meeting here, you have Teams, so you can Teams message me anytime you want to. It's Keelan Johnson. You can find me anywhere, and you can look me up, and I'll find the answer. and everything. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to jump in here. And I hope you got a couple of 2 or 3 tidbits that you can use in any sales you're in, or any life and relationships, ping pong, any of that stuff. So with that being said, Chris, I'll turn it back over to you. And then if we don't have any questions, we'll field them later or shoot them over to us. But thank you again for having me on.
Sure, we have a few questions that came in. Okay, so the first question is, what type of client is the best fit for IUL?
Yeah, that's a good question there. And so in the IUL world, most of the time, what people are looking for is the life insurance piece for protection. Okay, for the life insurance piece, that is protection. So they want to make sure that piece is there, but to keep it in layman's terms, also they want the growth component in there. So a little bit of a rewind. Your guaranteed universal life policies guarantee the face amount. And then in the IUL world, there is a component of there that the cash goes into an investment resource like an S&P or a NASDAQ. So basically with that investment piece, you have the beauty of an IUL, to keep it simple, is there's a floor on it. So the interest rates can never go below zero. So there is no loss in the floor, underneath the floor. And then you get some of the upside turn of the market space. So your money, the piece of your money, if funded correctly, goes into that. So I mean, your primary target market is people anywhere from age 0 to anywhere up to age 70 or 80. The people that can afford the premium, they want to see that money grow. Most of the time they have a time horizon that they want to keep it in there, say a 10 or 15, 20 year, to keep it, to make sure that growth works really well. And then our job over here is to make sure that we develop a product that has plenty of premium in it, in that dial, to where it grows sufficiently. It's not underfunded. So that's our job over there. So a sufficiently funded IUL product that can grow with their age, and then wherever their destination. That's part of the question. Will you need this money in the future? Will you need a loan against it? Will you need some income, or do you want to keep it for the death? What is your 15 or 20 that company goes into the advisory role, Chris, along the road? So that's what we do. And again, our brokerage managers, internal, our A team, they are professionals at this. That's what we do on a daily basis. And we can design. We have Paulette inside that has great illustration, knowledge, and she can work something out that shows you that.
Next question, how do you get comfortable talking about life insurance if you're new?
If I'm new, if the agent is new.
If the agent is new.
Buy one yourself. Buy one yourself. Yeah, buy one on yourself. Do you have one yourself? Buy one on yourself, look through it, open a policy jacket, see what it is. I mean, again, when we go back to the original questions, is when you sit with somebody, even a family member, say, hey, listen, what do you have now? What do you have when you pass away? What is your plan when, not if, we get no ifs, remember, what happens when you pass away, Chris? What do you have now? What happens 23, 30 years from now? Are you taken care of? And lots of times some people are like, yeah, I'm good. I had an agent one time that was one of my best friends, and he was a great agent. He was in the property and farmers insurance agent. And he said, when people tell me no, then I just ask him another question. I said, all right, Chris, so you're telling me no right now. And he said, all right, I'll just take that. But promise me, Chris, at one point in time that I can be your second most favorite agent. We promised me that. Your second most favorite agent. So there's another little one that you can use if you're not comfortable yet. But I would say as a new agent, just jump in and start talking to them. I mean, most of the time, new agents, y'all know 98% more than the client does anyways, after you've taken the test and after you studied and after you've gotten in there. So don't be afraid to do that. The other option is that, hey, let me, get you a good life insurance request form. We've got some too. Just fill it out. Go question by question. Just how much do you weigh? Start there a little bit until you get used to the conversation and you can really roll through it on that. So yeah, just, or call us. Call me. I'll help you out. So we'll help you out at Penny, but don't be scared. I would just say that. We'll send you some resources. And again, as a new life insurance agent too, this is the part of the reason we're doing these webinar series. On the second one and third one and fifth, you'll have resources through us to look up any topic you want. And that's what we're here for. That's why we are here for you. We've got your back. So lean on us too.
Next question. Do you have a good fact finder that helps set the pace?
Sure. We can get that to you. Whoever that is, just email, text.
Lloyd Griffin.
Okay, Lori, if you don't mind, and Chris, remind me on that. We'll get a good fact finder over to you, a couple of them that you can use and put together. I mean, no fact finders are bad, but we'll send you what we have, and you chat GPT AI. I mean, when you're talking about life insurance, main three, a couple of things is your age, your height, weight, any health issues I need to know about. What are you looking to do? How much coverage, or what are you looking to put in? I mean, that's just kind of the basic starting points of the questionnaire. But yes, any of y'all want a fact finder, we'll send you over a PDF and walk through it with you.
Next question, what life insurance products do you recommend?
So I don't recommend any of them. I mean, I recommend them all. So it depends on the situation. We do really well. We do really well, everybody, at term. We have all the major carriers. If you're looking for a short term, a 10-year, a 20-year, a 30-year, 35-year term policy to cover a certain period of time of their life that they need coverage for and consistent premium, we can do that. We do final expense policies. We do whole life policies. Whole lives are built on the chassis of growth with the guarantees at the end of the death benefit to cover a funeral, to cover the end of life stuff or whole life or accumulation. We have your guaranteed universals that guarantee people death benefit at the very end. We have the sharpened up IUL versions that go a little bit heavier into the indexed world. And then we also have, a branch that we can write some variable if you want to really dibble and dabble in the market space. Buy sell agreements for key man agreements, we can do that too. So there's really not any that we don't have. We have some hybrid life policies. We have some long-term care, situations in it too. That's becoming a big deal. So again, if you are the one that asked that question, text me, message us, tell me what situation you're looking at, and we can take a deeper dive in there. That's what we do, and we're glad to help you.
Next question, do you have any experience with getting coverage for impaired risk? That's a good question.
We do. We do have some great impaired risk carriers that we work with. And even, your foreign nationals we can work with too, impaired risks. Again, depends on how impaired there is. Sometimes there is not a life policy for them. But then again, we can transfer over to an annuity product that can really help the people out too, especially when you get to older people that have the risk and things like that. So again, this is exactly why we have our underwriter with tenured underwriter, underwriting department. So if you send us that case and tell me exactly what you have on your hands, if we can't find it, it's not out there. I'll just tell you that. So we do have those carriers for impaired risk. And again, we have really strong relationships with the carriers and the internal wholesalers for each carrier. So we have direct, text numbers to the carriers and to the people. And that's what we do. That's a relationship we have on the backside that you don't have to form, that we've already formed for you so that we can have, Bill Jones from Symetra call you and go, tell me exactly what you're looking for. And lots of times we have enough pull, we can make them take the case or help them, encourage them to take the case where you couldn't get that done out on your own. That's the strength of numbers and how and the largeness, if that's a word too.
And how would you simplify IUL?
Well, Chris, I would say, hey, we're gonna put you with a carrier that you're gonna have life insurance the rest of your life based on the hypothetical, rates that have shown in the past. We're gonna hypothetically show you what the guarantees are that guarantees you'll have life insurance through your whole life, and then we're gonna show you the upside, the potential upside that you can have if the market does what it has been doing. Here is what you could expect, in 20 years. Again, when you deal in the indexed world and you have that component, there is a little bit of a dial there, which we are not in charge of of the economy. But again, we do the best we can, and the carriers do the best they can to show that throughout with the history behind it. So that would be what I would answer the question. And then we listen, we have raters too. We have all the carriers in our rater. We put your information in there, shove it in the computer, and it spits out the best carrier, because every carrier is not going to want a 32-year-old. Every carrier is not going to want an 82-year-old. They have their own niche market spaces too. This is the beauty of a brokerage. This is the beauty of what we do, is that we have access on a rolling basis, the current rates and the current products that they're all coming up with. We don't have to go research it. It comes up on our screens as to, this is the newest product for this risk. Looky here, it's a blah 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 select 2.0, and this fits best for a 52-year-old skydiver or whatever it may be.
think those are all the questions.
Super. Well, hey, we got through here, and I don't know what we got through here in 30 something minutes or so. So 40 maybe. There were 45, so that's not bad. But hey, I would encourage everybody on the line. Thank y'all for jumping on here. Find us. We'll do whatever we can for y'all to be able to end zone people. The referral process for agents that want to come in on board, whatever you want to do, we've got it for you. And if we can't, we'll still shake hands with you and hug your neck. So we appreciate you.
Thanks, everyone, and thanks for the great feedback.
Y'all have a great
We'll
rest
see
of
you
the week.
next time.